another webinar, and this time around I'm going to talk to you about a very key topic in order to become a successful trader, and this is no other topic than trade journaling. Trade tracking is really important. I stress this to my course clients especially, and if you've done the course you would know how much I stress on trade journaling. It's pretty much, I would say, 80% of your success will come with trade journaling. If you trade journal, you track your trades, you know where you're going wrong, you know where you're going right, you will be successful in the long run. If you don't do it, you simply won't be. I can bet maybe 10,000-20,000 pounds and tell you guys, the people who will be successful, come into trading and do good, are the people who journal their trades, track their trades every single week, every single day of the month that they're trading, and even every single year. If you don't do it, simply say goodbye to trading. It's like saying, I want to become a doctor, but I don't want to study. I just want to become a doctor and, start diagnosing people and start performing surgeries. It is pretty much impossible to become a doctor if you don't go through the medical school process. If you don't obviously educate yourself, you won't become a doctor. Trade journaling, trade tracking is pretty much equivalent to that. You may think, it's probably not that serious. Come on, he's probably trying to make a big deal of it. I've taught nearly 350 students in the past year, face to face. And I've had many successful ones, and I've also had many unsuccessful ones. And those people who are unsuccessful and those who were successful, I've seen a big contrast between the two. And that lies and goes back into trade journaling. So I'm going to go through a very key topic. And some of you may think, what am I going to journal if I don't even know what I'm going to do? If I'm just blind following Fuad, he's just sending me signals and I'm putting trades in. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know if I'm pressing the right buttons, if I don't even know I'm putting the numbers in, what these numbers even mean, what the charts even mean. So of course you have to educate yourself. I would say simple website to go to educate yourself is Baby Pips. So you type in babypips.com/learn/forex. You'll be able to see under education how to trade forex, and I will tell you to make sure to go through this entire, I don't know how to call it, sections: preschool, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, summer school, high school, freshmen, all of this. Go through all of it and take your time. And as you do this, do signals and learn. Make sure you put an effort to learn alongside whatever you're doing. If you're going to just sit there and just be like, I'm okay with trading forex, he sends good signals, I make a bit of money, but you don't want to learn, you're not going to be able to progress. This money that you're making today, you'll probably lose it 2 weeks down the line. So just treat it like any other career. Just treat it like any other profession that you would be in. Maybe some of you are, working full time, or you're studying to become a certain someone in that field. Just like that, forex is an industry where you can make money, where you can make a living out of it. So treat it as that. Spend time towards education. Do not just go and spend money. I wouldn't recommend anyone to just go splash money on courses and stuff like that without even understanding what they are getting themselves into. So make sure you go into Baby Pips, take some time out and study. But now, after you studied or you're studying, I'm sending signals. And say, for example, here, you're a GBP. I sent this signal to go up. And you take this trade in. So I'll give you a signal and I'll tell you, okay, this is just an example signal. So buy Euro GBP at 0.8600, or entry now. Obviously the market's at 0.86125. I'll give a stop loss, say 30 pips below. So 0.85, 0.8570, TP1, I say 0.8630. Sorry, 8630. Right, so it's a 30 pip stop loss for a 30 pip take profit. I send this signal, you put this trade in. What you really want to do firstly is make an Excel sheet. So this Excel sheet is going to be your bread and butter when it comes to logging. So your name, whatever your name is, you type that in. Let's put that in. My max a bit. Okay, good. And the first thing you're gonna do is write the currency pair. Currency pair is gonna be Euro GBP, right? And the next one is gonna be your entry point, where you entered on your MetaTrader 4. So entry point, of course, is say 0.86. So entry point on MetaTrader 4, obviously, when I said it, I was talking about, it was about 0.8612. Analysis entry point. So this is where your analysis told you to enter. So you say for example, for whatever reason, you had your support resistance, or whenever I sent it, the signal, obviously, I give you guys a brief rundown of how the chart looks like. So if you see the chart looks like, you'll be able to see on the right hand column whole numbers. So for example, 0.86, or this signal, on the signal, what did I say? 0.86. So analysis entry 0.8600. So this is your entry point that you had when you entered by yourself, and this was the analysis entry. So there's two different entries. So this is where you entered, and this is where I said on the signal. And then what you do is you also mention your stop loss. Stop loss is 0.8570. And then you do also your take profit. Take profit is at 0.8630. Sorry, yeah, 8630. Let's put 0.86. Yeah, perfect. Now going back, what also am I going to do? I'm going to also get a before screenshot. What do I mean by this? So you go onto your trading view picture, trading view charts, and on this trading view chart on the right hand side, you should be able to see a snapshot function. You click on the snapshot on the 15-minute candlesticks, you copy and you paste this, so you have an idea of how the chart looked like before you entered, so you can compare it with after you entered, maybe 1, 2 hours, 3 hours later, to see how the trade performed. Before screenshot, let's actually move this to the right hand side a bit, because we've got a few more things to add. Before screenshot, to ideally do this before screenshot when you start logging, because otherwise market starts moving quick, and your screenshot, you'd really want it to be ideally from the point of entry. Then we have profit or loss, and you want to fill this out after the trade expires. So imagine it is a profitable trade, you just highlight this cell as green. If it's a losing trade, you highlight it as red. Profit or loss. Then we have date trade taken. So what time the dates, actually get the date out first. So 11th of March 11:03 2019. Then you have time trade taken. Time trade taken was 13:10. So what you can see is a variety of information about this trade. With this information, you obviously down here, normally I tell course clients what strategy they used to enter. So strategy used, and also success rate. And success rate. Now with signal clients, of course, you guys don't really know why you're taking certain trades, so I'll just leave this column empty. So for now, I'll just keep it empty. So Euro GBP, you do this, and after this trade expires, what I want you to also do is calculate how many pips you profited from. Pips, caught or lost. So you, of course, if you finished and you had hit your take profit, right, all you do is 0.8612 to 0.8630. You just pretty much calculate it, which is 18 pips. So that would be 18 pips you call plus 18. So this you have to wait until the trade expires, and after the trade expires you put in plus 18. If it's negative, you put obviously minus 18 or minus 19, but you calculate it from your entry point to your take profit or to your stop loss. You don't use the analysis entry. And that is pretty much your trade log for Euro GBP done. Then the next trade that you do, you go and put that in as GBP USD or USD CAD. You repeat the same process over and over again, before screenshot and then after screenshot you do, and just look through these trades, and as you learn, as you educate yourself, what you want to do is split up each trade that you do and put that into a different tab. So you open a new tab, and this tab is going to go into detail as to why you took this trade. So for example, Euro GBP, say I took this trade Euro GBP, and I'll say on strategy use or success rate, I'll refer to tab 3 trade 1. So on tab 3 trade 1, I'm going to have that as my first Euro GBP trade. Euro GBP, profitable trade, profit trade, and this format cells. I'm just going to say why I took this trade. Say maybe hit my support and resistance. If you hit support and resistance, you put support and resistance. If it is a trend line, maybe it's a trend line. Maybe it's a different factor. Maybe you have a different session confirmation. You could have that. So as you learn on baby pips, right, as you learn through baby pips, you're gonna also track each trade, and you're gonna say what time you took this. So it's gonna be like a little evaluation as to why you took Euro GBP. And after the trade finishes, you'd have a final evaluation on what I did good, final evaluation on what I did bad. So of course, if that trade loses, you're going to mention why that trade lost. You're going to write that down. So next time you take a trade, you're going to obviously refer back to trade 1. Trade 2, say for example this was whole week, this was tab 3, so week 1, this is going to be your first week of trading. You do this, and week 1, let's say week 1 trade 1. There you go. So I'm going to have trade 2, so I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to do this for GBP USD. So when you have this written down, it creates mental discipline. It makes you evaluate how you're doing every single week. For example, this is going to be your week 1 stuff. Say for example you had every single week, the whole week, you did a variety of trades. So these are your whole amount of trades that you did for the entire week between 11th of March until the 15th of March. What you do is weekly overall. How did I do? So weekly overall, 11th to 15th of March 2019. These are the amount of pips plus that I've caught, pips negative that I've caught, and overall amount of pips that I've caught. Overall amount of pips caught. Then you're going to say weekly capital percentage increase or decrease. So this is pretty simple. The way you want to do it is, say for example you started the week with £1,000, you ended the week with 1,050, so you made an increase of £50 to your capital. All you do is 50, which is your profit. So ended the week, started the week. So there. So you take your profit, right? You take your profit, which is £50, and what you want to do is divide 50 by 1,000, and then times whatever you have by 100. 50 times by divided by 100, so 1,000, which is 0.005. and you times that by 100, which gives you 5%. So this is a 5% weekly increase that you had into your overall capital. So you have that, and you do it for week 1, week 2, and so on. So maybe first week you caught 150 pips, then you lost about 60 pips. Overall amount of pips you caught, 150 minus 60, which gives you 90 overall pips, and your weekly increase to capital was 5%, and your capital was £1,050. You do this every single week. So you do it for the next week, the week after. So you can see roughly, maybe next week you went from 1,050 to 1,300, right? That's a crazy amount of increase in terms of percentage, from 1,050 to 5,300. So you should be wary as to making sure your increments to your capital is not too dramatic, because if it is too dramatic, imagine what would happen. If it is too dramatic, it can also decrease dramatically. That means that your amount of lot size you're using needs to also be taken into consideration. So I missed that. So lot size wise, let me go back. Let me just add that in so lot size you're using. This is very, very vital. So lot size you have. So maybe you started the week with a £1,000 capital, and your weekly your rule of thumb is 0.01 for every £100. So if you refer back to my old money risk management webinar, you'll be able to see that this is the rule of thumb that I say for low risk / also high risk. And go back to that webinar and check that out to see which category you fall under. So £1,000, and you're using 0.10 in that case. If you have £1,000 capital, it will be 0.10 for 100, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01. You have that. Right, so this is for week 1, and you just do it for week 2, and you do it for week 3. So you can see this is the amount that I'm doing, and I've decreased it to 0.2. So whatever gains that I made for this week could have been lost on the week that I maybe got less pips. Maybe this week was 90 pips, next week I got only 50 pips, right? But this week I ended up with a minus 15% decrease. If that was the case, imagine, that tells me I'm having terrible money risk management, and I'm pretty much gambling myself across. So you don't want to be gambling at the same time. You want to make sure that this 5% increase is going to maybe 7% next week, or 8%, or 9%. Not going from 5% directly to 20%. If that is the case, this is a big factor, and it should be a warning sign for you that you're going to start losing money. And if you did lose that money, you can clearly see, yep, I gambled myself, and this is where I went wrong. So you got to do this every single week. And what I would recommend is, after you do it, just go on this home, I believe. It should be file, share, and should be sent PDF, invite people, I believe, save to cloud. So yeah, you can save it to a cloud and also send me an Excel live link. So that's what I'm trying to do. You should not let me do it. But if you want to do it, you can also go on Excel live. Just Google Excel live, and you just go on this, and you can create an Excel live document and just send me a link. And I can even check back to see how your progress is. So yeah, guys, hopefully you liked today's webinar on trade logging and trade tracking. This is one of the most basic ways to do this, and if you're doing signals, I highly recommend you to do this so that you can keep a track of how you're progressing. And if you don't do it, it can be a big factor in you losing a lot of money in the long run. We don't want that happening. And I'll catch you guys in the next webinar.